Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has tabled the economic survey report in the Lok Sabha. That's the latest that's coming in at this point of time. We're going to, of course, there you see it, viewers. Of course, that's the latest that's coming in. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has now tabled the economic survey report ahead of the announcement of the union budget that's going to take place. Let's cut across.
Sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table a copy each of the following papers, both in Hindi and English versions. Economic Survey 23-24, Economic Survey 23-24, Statistical Appendix.
All right. So that's, of course, coming in at this point of time. My colleague Manohar is with us on the broadcast. Manohar, what are the details that are coming in as far as the economic survey report is concerned?
देखिए निर्मला सीतारमन ने लोकसभा में टेबल कर दिया इकोनॉमिक सर्वे। अब उसकी रिपोर्ट जल्द ही सार्वजनिक हो जाएगी और उसके बाद पता चलेगा कि इस बार जो मोदी गवर्नमेंट 3.0 है तो क्या आधार रहा, क्या कितनी जीडीपी रही, किस तरह से हमारा देश आगे बढ़ रहा है। क्योंकि जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने थर्ड इकोनॉमिक की बात की है तो थर्ड इकोनॉमिक्स को लेकर के हमारा ग्राफ जो है इकोनॉमिक ग्राफ कितना आगे बढ़ा, क्या स्थिति है और क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है, वो सारी चीजें भी कुछ देर में पता चल जाएगी। जी
Right, absolutely. In fact, joining us at this point of time is Dr. Sharad Kohli, Senior Economist. Sir, a very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Now, you know, the Prime Minister, while delivering his address, said that the big goal, the big mission and all eyes are on Mission 2047. How do you view, of course, the economic survey report and what is your assessment?
Well, economic survey, Asavri, good afternoon first of all to you and the NewsX viewers. The economic survey gives you, a kind of analysis on how the economy has performed last year. What are the challenges before the economy and how should the country looking forward to? Well, an interesting thing about economic survey, Asavri, I would like to reveal to the NewsX viewers is that from 1950 to 1964, economic survey used to be part of the budget. When suddenly in 1964, the government at that time realized that it should be done a little before the budget so that if there is anything which can be incorporated in the budget, which can be incorporated. So from 64 onwards, economic survey started coming before the budget. Well, it gives you a bird's eye view of what happened to the economy in the last year, especially with regard to the sectors. You know, how did the industrial sector perform? How was the manufacturing sector? How was the services sector? What came out of the schemes which the government has launched? What came out of the reforms which the government has done? And of course, as a second dimension to economic survey, it also throws into the field the challenges which the economy has going forward. And of course, that helps in laying down a roadmap for the country for going forward, especially for the budget. And then, of course, this time it has got a longer vision of 2047, as you rightly said, of a developed country. And taking, first of all, India to being the third largest economy. So I think economic survey will help the government and people of the country. It's not a document which probably every layman can understand. Well, we as economists, we make it easy and we decipher various aspects. But yes, some parts of economic survey, I would say, can be easily understood. But I think for a common man, Asavri, main thing is the budget which comes out tomorrow. I think they'll be more interested in knowing what the budget has done because economic survey is more of a historical outlook, whereas people are more interested in looking at the future outlook. So all eyes on the parliament today as to what does the economic survey say, especially for people like us. And then, of course, tomorrow for the big day for the budget, which will lay down the roadmap for the next 5 years for Modi 3.0, Asavri.
Right, so absolutely. Now, of course, as far as the union budget is concerned, one would ideally want, one would say, an audacious union budget to be laid out. Of course, we want to become net providers in multiple sectors. So in your assessment, where should India then, what should India be looking at in terms of expanding?
I think as I just referred about economic survey, Asavri, because economic survey is going to be touching upon the challenges. And like, for example, one of the challenges which country faces, or shall I say two of the challenges, one is tackling inflation, which keeps springing up time to time. For example, we are currently going through an inflation situation, which I call it as ATP inflation, the aloo, tomato, pyaz inflation, which is related to vegetables. So I think tackling inflation, tackling unemployment, tackling inequalities of income and wealth, I think these should be the areas which countries should focus. Of course, making agricultural sector more profitable, making imports lower, lowering the imports from China, not depending on China for imports, expanding the manufacturing sector, then making the women more empowered, including more women in the economic mainstream activity, developing tourism, developing the education sector, making more reforms in the education sector, spending more on the health sector, research and development. I think these are some of the areas of Sabri where I feel government should be focused upon in the budget tomorrow. And I have no doubt, Sabri, that these sectors which I'm naming, they will not be part of the budget tomorrow, because in a country predominantly where 60 to 70% still depend on agriculture, Sabri, for example, I think boosting the agricultural sector in whatever way, whether it is building agricultural infrastructure, whether it is bringing in more subsidies for the fertilizers for the farmers, whether it is increasing the Kisan Samman Nidhi from 6,000 to 8,000, whether it is modernization of agriculture, whether it is a more robust infrastructure for trading of the agricultural commodities, MSP. I think these are the things which govern the agriculture sector, and we have to ensure that agriculture sector has to come in profit, because the contribution of agriculture sector, Sabri, in the GDP is merely 18%, whereas 16 to 70% of the people depend on agriculture. So this is quite a skewed number, I would say. So I think the more it contributes to the GDP, the more profitable agriculture sector becomes. So this will also help in generating jobs. It will prevent the migration to the towns, where a farmer tells his son that, son, don't go to the town, or go to the town, make your living in the town, because this farm cannot help you in sustaining in the long run. So I think that mindset has to be changed now, where people who are in the villages, they should become as prosperous as the people in the town are. So this inequality between India and Bharat, I think that has to be bridged as early as possible if we are looking at a Vision 2047 recovery for being a developed country.
Right, sir, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with our viewers. And of course, one is looking forward to the union budget and what exactly is it going to entail of. And, what I've in fact received the economic survey report at this point of time, and I'm going to quickly read out some excerpts from it. There's a lot of, when one looks at it, there's a lot of conversation about, of course, the prices and inflation and how to keep it under control. External sectors, the stability amid, of course, looking for stability in this at this point of time. There are also, of course, a lot of conversation and a lot of material on climate change and energy transitions and dealing with trade-offs as well. Social sector and how to empower it is, of course, something that one is very keen on doing, and it is in fact a part of this economic survey report. Employment and skill development towards equality. So, of course, extending employment to a wide range of people, and not just in terms of quantity, but also making sure that there's quality. That's of course there. And agriculture and food management, of course, being a very, very crucial and critical part of it, also laid down in this economic survey that has now officially been tabled by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.